Hello and welcome to Trading 5 Talents. In today's video, I want to go over the results that I've been accumulating over the past couple of weeks on the development of my Ironfly trading strategy. And so for those of you that are just joining us, and this is new to you, an Ironfly is an options trading strategy that involves four different options or four legs. And the way that this is set up, or at least the way that I'm setting it up, is using the ticker symbol SPY, and I'm selling an at-the-money call. And then I am buying a call that is 10 strikes higher. And then I'm selling an at-the-money put, which is, the same strike price as the at-the-money call. And then I'm buying a put that is 10 strikes lower. So with these four options, this is what is referred to as an Ironfly or an iron butterfly. And this option trade is set up with a premium or a net credit that you would be receiving. And what I've been finding is with 7 days until expiration, and that's how long these are, 7 DTE Ironfly, you're probably getting around $600 in credit. And because this is a short premium or a premium selling strategy, then you're going to be benefiting from the passage of time, or theta decay is going to be working in your favor. So I'll leave a link to a video that describes in a little bit more depth of how this Ironfly is set up. And so I've been testing this strategy since mid-December of 2022. And I've done it live, and I'm also doing it in a paper trading account. And what you're seeing here on the screen right now is the paper trading account I'm using with Option Alpha. And I've made a few videos recently on Option Alpha, and it's a platform that allows you to create an automated trading system and then deploy that system or that bot in a paper trading environment or in a live account. And it can open and monitor and close trades for you. And an Ironfly is a great candidate for one of these types of bots. And if you want an overview of what Option Alpha is, I'll leave a link to that as well. So you can see over the past, since December 21st is when the first trade was closed here, that it has done very well. And this is just one basically my first iteration of the Ironfly strategy. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to optimize this particular strategy. I'm going to try a few more variations, and I've introduced those already. And I'm not going to go in depth into each of them, but I will let you know what they are as we get into the video. But that's what I'm showing you the results here, as I want to see if something can do, or an iteration or a variation can do better than this original version that I have created. So let's take a look at what these variations are. So when I click on the bots, you'll see I have a lot of bots set up right here, but I'm just going to look at these four variations. And if you remember from the introductory video regarding these four variations, I only had three, and they were color coded so that you could, keep track of them a little bit easier. But I added this fourth one in here because I'm able now to have more than three bots in my library. And the reason I have more than three bots in my library now, or am able to have more than three, is because my account got upgraded by Option Alpha. And I made a video regarding how you can get an Option Alpha account for free, and if you meet certain requirements. And so Option Alpha is again, this auto trading service. I have a link down below if you want to try it out for yourself, but there is a 30-day free trial and you get full access to the platform. But after that, you have to, sign up to use this service. But if you meet certain requirements, you can get the most premium service that they offer for absolutely free. And so that happened with me. So I got a free account. Now I'm able to have a lot more bots in my library, which is why I added this fourth one back in. And before it was just sort of embedded in one of the other ones. So here are the four variations that I'm doing. So the first of all in gray is my standard, my initial version of this strategy. It's an at-the-money 10 strike wide Ironfly, and I'm exiting either at 15% profit or 30% loss. Okay, that's the original. Then what I wanted to do in this yellow one, there aren't any results here, but I do have them recorded elsewhere, and I'll show you. The idea here was to do the exact same thing. All of these bots, first of all, have the same entry. At the money, 10 strikes wide. Where they differ is in how I am exiting each of these trades. So in this trade, I'm exiting with a 30% profit or a 30% loss. in this green one right here, I'm adding a trailing stop that's going to kick in after 15%. Okay, and then it's just going to trail up at a 5% trail until it gets stopped out, or I'm going to have a 30% loss. And then finally, this free range Ironfly, the one in red, is basically just letting this bot go all the way until 15 minutes before it expires. And whatever profit or loss that I have at that time, that's what I'm going to take. Okay, so these are the 4 variations. Now, if we take a look here in option alpha, the results, they're not as easy to interpret. So for example, if we look here, my results are dating back to December 21st until now. Overall, the bot has done well, but how does it compare to the other ones? It's difficult to see right here unless we went through every single trade. And so I did do that already, and I'll show you the summary of those results, but that's what option alpha shows you right here. Also, what you see in this line graph right here is the total profit and loss, but this also includes the unrealized profits and losses. So for example, this final amount includes the 2 positions that I have open right here, even though I haven't closed them yet. For some people that may be a little bit misleading, but that's just how it's set up. If I were to look at, what is the other one? The trailing stop. So that one's right here. And you can see the trailing stop. It closed the last 12 trades that have been closed, 66.7% win rate. And you can see the average loss, the average win. So that's good. It's winning more than it's losing, both in win rate and also in profit amount. So that's been pretty good. And then again, this graph includes the stuff that is still, the positions that are still open. And then we have the free range Ironfly, and that one looks like this, and you can see the results down here, 80% win rate. And then you can see the average win is greater than the average loss, which is good. And you're winning 80% of the time, then that's obviously really good. So all of them have been profitable. So that's nice, including the 30-30 exit. And that one I had embedded into this one just because I was only able to open 3 bots at a time previously. So let's take a look at the summary of the results, and then I think you'll be able to see a better picture. All right, here we are. I made a Google sheet, and then again, these trades or these things are color-coded based on what bot I'm using or what variation I'm using of the Ironfly. The gray one is the original. So across the top, you have, this is just for my notes, the expiration date. So I can keep track of the trades a little bit easier. And then I'm just recording 10 trades. So my 10 trades here in this original 1530 variation, it was a 90% win rate, $783. This 3030 variation, it was an 80% win rate, $1,249 was collected. This trailing stop, 80% win rate, $1,917 was collected. And then the free range, surprisingly, had the highest profit amount, 80% win rate, $2,143. And then I'm just, charting the profit and loss. And this is realized profit and loss. But once again, this is a paper trading account, so obviously it's not money in my pocket, but it's just showing you the results of this back test. Now this, before, you get too excited and say, oh, I'm just going to try the free range. What I'd like to point out is that this is only 10 trades. And in fact, I'm tracking an additional 10 trades, and already in the additional trades, if we go to this tab, you can see it's lost 3 times. All of them have lost 3 times, except for the free range because they haven't expired yet. So if you include those 3 trades, there's going to be 4 losses in a row right here. So the 10th trade, 11th, 12th, and 13th trade of this setup, there's going to be some losses. So what would that do to all of this profit? Obviously, it's going to bring it down. By how much and which one still wins? I don't know, because we don't have the free range results in quite yet. So at least with the first set of 10 trades, the free range variation is in the lead. So based on these initial results, I do have a few conclusions that I can make. So first of all, the original variation of the Ironfly, the 1530 exit, it's good. And one reason I like it is because you're locking in these profits early. So notice on this 10th trade, all of these trades were entered at the same time, but only the 1530 was profitable. And the reason is because it locked in that profit at 15% rather than waiting for 30%. So that's good. Okay, the other thing that I would like to mention is that the 30-30 is good. I'm exiting for 30% of the profit. And you can see it's not quite double every single time than what the 15 is. And that's because of, the fill prices that you're getting. It made more money than the 15-30, even though it did not win as much. And that's what I would really like. I'm not looking for a strategy that has an extremely high win rate, because that usually means one loss is going to wipe out a lot of wins. So I'm looking for anywhere from a 60 to 70% win rate strategy, but my wins are going to be greater than my losses. So that's what I'm looking for. And I think the 30-30 will do that. Now, one thing that I don't like about this is I wish this one had a trailing stop, which is why I created this third bot, the trailing stop bot. Now, the trailing stop initially kicks in at 15%, and then it trails that high by 5%. So you can see in some cases it's a little bit lower than 15%. Some cases it's higher than 15%. So I think the highest trade I had was this one right here, $508 compared to $108 from the original, or $216 from the 30-30. Again, an 80% win rate, but now you're making even more money than the 30-30. So I do like the trailing stop, but I believe one issue that is really hurting this strategy, not the strategy, but this variation of the strategy, is that the bot only monitors a trailing stop every 15 minutes. And as you know, in a market like we're in right now, a lot can happen in 15 minutes. So we can reach a high in 15 minutes and activate the trailing stop, but then blow past that trail within the next 15 minutes. And now when it closes, you're closing much lower than your expected trailing stop to be at. So what I am excited about, however, is that Option Alpha just announced that they are going to start increasing the trailing stop check intervals or monitoring intervals to every 1 minute. So when you set a profit target on Option Alpha, then it monitors your position every minute. And once it hits that, profit target or the stop loss, it will activate. Okay, so that's what happens up here in the 15-30 and the 30-30. However, as of right now with a trailing stop, that's not included in those 1 minute scans referred to as exit options. It's only included in the monitor section of the automation, which only goes every 15 minutes. So once they put the trailing stop into the exit options, and now you can monitor that trailing stop every minute instead of every 15 minutes, I think it's going to make this green trailing stop variation much more powerful. So as of right now, even though the trailing stop has not made the most amount of money, this is still my favorite right here, and I want to develop this green one right here. Now, one thing to notice about the trailing stop, well, let's go back to the 30-30. Notice how it lost on this last trade compared to the 15-30. That's because it was waiting for a 30% profit target to be reached. It never got to 30%. I don't know what it got to, but it never got to 30%. It got to 15 at least. That's why this one closed, but it never got to 30. That's why this one actually closed for a loss, because it went down until it had that negative 30%. Right, the trailing stop in this case, it mitigated this 30% loss, as you see in yellow up here in the yellow trade, yellow variation. It only lost $9, so that's really good. It worked. At least it cut the losses or minimize the losses on that last trade. So that's all good news for the trailing stop variation. Now, finally, the free range variation, you could see how much more money I'm making even in this first trade, $316. It got off to a great start. This one only closed at $22, $175. So it was actually still less than 30% loss. $559. So that's not even the biggest win. The biggest win is $586 in this seventh trade. And then $83. But you'll notice that this one took a bigger loss than 30% because of what happened in the market. And it actually closed at max loss territory. So I like the free range in terms of the profit number. The only thing I don't like about the free range is that I wish it would just lock in profits. And in order to do that, you would need the trailing stop. So, two things that I don't like about the free range. One, it doesn't lock in profits. And two, you can take a max loss on it. Now, if your max loss is not that great, then obviously, there's no issue with that. But if you're in profit and you're in a good amount of profit, which obviously we were, because we at least reached $109. We at least reached 15% in all of these trades, but nobody locked in those profits except for the 1530. Could have made $109, but instead we lost $283. So without capturing your profits when you have them, I don't think that's going to be a winning strategy. You got to take those profits off the table, which is why I'm going to lean towards this trailing stop. So again, only 10 trades have been made with these variations. These are the results summarized. I'm going to keep on tracking these 4 variations, but I also want to drill down these variations even further. And now that I have this premium version of option alpha, because I met the qualifying requirements, I'm able to have up to 50 bots in my library. And I want to take full advantage of that and be able to share the results with you. So what I'm going to be doing in some upcoming videos is, as you saw in my bot library, there are numerous bots listed there. And that's because I created, on average, 5 variations of each, or 5 iterations of each of these variations. All right. So I created 5 different versions of the 1530, 5 different versions of the 3030, or maybe it was 6 different variations, something like that. And then 4 of the trailing stop, 5 of the free range. And altogether, if you include these 4 variations plus all the new iterations that I've made based off of these, there are 20 different bots that I'm going to have running starting next week. And basically what I want to do is I want to find out if we use this as the basis, this 1530, but we just change, let's say, the expiration dates, which one works best. If we use the 3030 as the basis, but we change, the profit targets, which one works best? Trailing stop, same thing. If I adjust the trailing stops and when they kick in, what's going to be the result? Same thing with the free range. If I based on how many days until expiration I start taking profits off the table, how is it going to do? So basically what I want to do is, if you have these 4 flavors right here and the free range works the best, what if these 4 variations are not the most optimum? I want to find the most optimum variation of these variations and then pit those against one another to see which one truly is the best. Now, Obviously, I don't know the results yet. I haven't started it yet, but because I have the bot space in my bot library, I want to be able to take advantage of that. I also do want to mention that with this green bot right here, I've modified it just slightly, and starting next week, I believe I'm ready to go live with this green one, this trailing stop variation, because again, I like the idea that it takes profits off the table. I like the idea that it can, mitigate some of these losses and still have a nice return. Now, the reason I want to start doing it next week is because it already has a losing streak. So these past 2 weeks, it's done really good, 80% win rate. But then we look ahead and we see that there's 3 more losses. So obviously it did not do good right there in that stretch, including this one right here. That's 4 losses in a row. And for me, I would like to initiate this trading bot live after a losing streak. And the reason is because this is about a 60 to 70% win rate, maybe closer, let's say 65% win rate. And if it's already won 80% of the time over 2 weeks, then probability, at least in theory, states that it's probably going to lose 60% of the time in the next 2 weeks to bring that average back down to about 65, 70%. So if it's already got this losing streak and it moves the average lower than the traditional or the expected win rate, that's when I want to get in, because that means the next set of trades is most likely to be higher than the expected win rate. So, it makes sense to me and it makes sense on paper. Is that reality? I'm not sure. I guess I'll be finding out starting next week. So again, bottom line, after a losing streak is when I want to start going from paper trading into live trading. So if you have any questions about Option Alpha, again, the link is down below, or about the Ironfly strategy, or about any of the results that I've come up with these different variations, then please leave a comment down below and I'll try to get back to it as quickly as possible. And then make sure you click on subscribe and turn on the notifications so you can see what these next 20 bots and each of those results are going to be. So I'll be explaining them, first of all, what those variations are. And then, in the following weeks, then I'll be posting their results just like this. And I'll try to summarize everything very succinctly so you can just get a really quick glance as to which bots are working the best. Until next time, trade wisely and take care.